precious that was soon to be forgotten, like freedom and justice. Germany Awake was the slogan on everyone's lips, only it appeared to me that we were clock-stepping in our sleep toward some terrible but as yet unknown disaster. This didn't mean I was ever going to be foolish enough to say so in public, and certainly not when strangers were listening. I had principles, sure, but I also had all my own teeth. "Hey, you," said a voice behind me. "Stop a minute. I want to talk to you." I kept on walking, and it was not until Saarlandstrasse, formerly Königgrätzerstrasse, until the Nazis decided we all needed to be reminded about the Treaty of Versailles and the injustice of the League of Nations, that the owner of the voice caught up with me. "Didn't you hear me?" he said. Taking hold of my shoulder, he pushed me up against an advertising column and showed me a bronze warrant disc on the palm of his hand. From this, it was hard to tell if he was local or state criminal police, but from what I knew about Hermann Göring's new Prussian police, only the lower ranks carried bronze beer tokens. No one else was on the pavement, and the advertising column shielded us from the view of anyone on the road. Not that there was much real advertising pasted on it. These days, advertising was just a sign telling a Jew to keep off the grass. "No, I didn't," I said. "The man who spoke treasonably about the leader. You must have heard what he said. You were standing right next to him." "I don't remember hearing anything treasonable about the leader," I said. "I was listening to the band." "So, why did you suddenly walk away?" "I remembered that I had an appointment." The cop's cheeks flushed a little. It wasn't a pleasant face. He had dark, shadowy eyes, a rigid, sneering mouth, and a rather salient jaw. It was a face that had nothing to fear from death, since it already looked like a skull. If Goebbels had a taller, more rabidly Nazi brother, then this man might have been him. "I don't believe you," the cop said, and snapping his fingers impatiently added, "Identification card, please." The please was nice, but I still hardly wanted to let him see my identification. Section 8 of page 2 detailed my profession by training and, in fact, and since I was no longer a policeman but a hotel employee, it was as good as telling him I wasn't a Nazi. Worse than that, a man who had been obliged to leave the Berlin detective force because of his allegiance to the old Weimar Republic might be just the type to ignore someone speaking treason about the leader, if treason was what that was. But I knew the cop would probably arrest me just to spoil my day, and arrest would very likely mean 2 weeks in a concentration camp. He snapped his fingers again and glanced away, almost bored. Come on, I haven't got all day." For a moment, I just bit my lip, irritated at being pushed around yet again, not just by this cadaver-faced cop, but by the whole Nazi state. I'd been forced out of my job as a senior detective with Kripo, a job I had loved, and been made to feel like a pariah because of my adherence to the old Weimar Republic. The Republic's faults had been many, it was true, but at least it had been democratic, and since its collapse, Berlin, the city of my birth, was hardly recognizable. Previously, it had been the most liberal place in the world. Now it felt like a military parade ground. Dictatorships always look good until someone starts giving you dictation. "Are you deaf? Let's see that damned card." The cop snapped his fingers again. My irritation turned to anger. I reached inside my jacket for the card with my left hand, turning my body just far enough around to disguise my right hand becoming a fist, and when I buried it in his gut, my whole body was behind it. I hit him too hard. Much too hard. The blow took all the air out of him and then some. You hit a man in the gut like that, he stays hit for a good long while. I held the cop's unconscious body against me for a moment, and then waltzed him through the revolving door.